Fight faster.
What a flash.
Break a pack.
All right, class, let's see how many digits you can read. 1, 2.
These high school students are also learning to read and understand words. Most people can read and understand about 250 words a minute. This is average. Today, with the enormous amount of printed matter that high school and college students must cope, the so-called average student could be in trouble. Under the guidance of Miss Elsie Murphy, an English teacher at this South Hills High School, students are being taught to be something more than average readers. Machines are teaching them.
Gary? The tachistoscope is a device by which we can flash digits. Now, the flashing of digits does this thing for them. They are forced to widen their eye span.
9.
Susan? 1, 2.
32748.
Right. Gary Laird? 1, 2.
13546.
Some of my students can read 4 words at 100th of a second.
21354746.
Good. Now, if you think about that, 4 words at 100th of a second, how many words are you reading in a second? And multiply that by 60. And the potentials for this thing are utterly fantastic. Joan, 1, 2.
53426 179.
That's right. Now let's try some phrases. Mary, 1, 2.
Thread a needle.
Bill, 1, 2.
Sew the curtain.
Okay. Judy, 1, 2.
The board bends.
That's right. All right, I want you to read at 500 words a minute. Will you be sure your machine is fixed for 500 words a minute? Now, page 108 in your Reader's Digest. You have read the first part of the article, so you're starting on the first column. Now, you're going to be reading. We use another machine that forces them to read at the pace that they have acquired through eye span enlargement, and that's called the rateometer. And this is an individual thing. They set it at the pace they think they can go. They must stay ahead of the bar as it's coming down. When they learn to go at a certain pace, they make it go faster. We practice reading easy material. We practice reading most difficult material. We practice reading an in-between type of material. They are tested immediately as soon as they are through reading. Comprehension is checked, and we compare each other's rates. You want to try it at 1200 on that next column? Try. Ready? Go. I have seen good students come in able to read over 300 words a minute, and in 2 instances this semester, these boys read over 10,000 words a minute. Well, that seems impossible, but I've seen them do it. All right, Bill, according to your chart, you can read better than 10,000 words a minute. Let's see if you can do it today. Page 61. This will be Baker 16. Are you ready? Go.
Bill Carmack reads a chapter of 1,000 words.
5 seconds. That's better than your 10,000 words a minute. But let's see if you learned anything. Test back there on page 112. About that second question. We find more time to read by organizing ourselves and...
C, improving your reading habits.
How about the 8th question? A number of people have increased their efficiency and doubled their reading rate in...
B, 4 weeks.
That's right. And then that last one, you can infer from this chapter that a vacation from a reading program after the first week or 2 will...
Allows a regression to old habits.
Go. Six seconds. That means that you've read it in over 10,000 words. But let's see if you've really read it. Turn to page 112. That first question. This chapter states that doctors, because of their long training, are...
It's none of the answers given here.
Try that 5th question. The average rate of reading for adults is?
250 to 300 words per minute.
Well, that's right. I think you've read your chapter, and you've read it at over 10,000 words a minute. Good work. I think that eventually we're going to have people in this world who can read 10, 20,000 words a minute, and no one will think anything about it. It's one of those fields that we're opening up in education. We're giving these children an opportunity to read in a fashion such as those of us who are adults and brought up in the old fashion never had.
Behind this antique structure, a noisy revolution in foreign language teaching is taking place. It's going on in a room known as a language laboratory, one of several in Pittsburgh's high schools.
Dass in einem Taxi angekommen war.
Tape recordings speak to students in isolated semi-soundproof booths. Each student hears pre-recorded language lessons through earphones. For 2 years, they recite and drill 1 hour each day. The teacher, Miss Louise Thompson, can eavesdrop on each student's progress.
The purpose of language teaching today is to make the pupil competent in all 4 aspects: understanding, speaking, reading, and writing. And it is felt that understanding and speaking should come first, as it does with a child.
Irene, sprechen Sie ins Mikrofon, bitte.
Der Fürst hatte den Diamanten vermisst, als er im Hotel war. Ehe er die Polizei rief.
The language laboratories are wonderful because the pupil has the advantage from the first of hearing the very best pronunciation by people who are extremely competent. The wonderful thing about our laboratory is that we can run at the same time 5 programs from the console concurrently.
Aber fand nichts.
Buenas tardes, doña Margarita. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Doña Margarita.
Doña Margarita.
Да, мне нужна книга. Да.
In this class, 3 language courses are running at the same time: German, Spanish, Russian. Each student works undisturbed at his own pre-recorded lesson.
The Spanish pupils are in a class, but they are in here doing some individual brush-up and practice work.
Una conversación.
Una conversación.
Una conversación.
Por teléfono.
Por teléfono.
Por teléfono.
Por teléfono.
Nina.
Nina.
Где библиотека?
The 3 Russian pupils have been doing it entirely on their own. There's no teacher here in Peabody High School that knows any Russian.
Библиотека.
Ты идешь туда.
Ты идешь туда.
The more one uses a laboratory, one realizes its possibilities are great indeed.
Недалеко. Ты идешь туда.
¿Cómo están por tu casa?
¿Cómo están por tu casa?